That's it.
That's streetlights, it's only one line item in the streetlight budget, and what this covers is the, pretty much the city's costs of operating streetlights. And if you recall, in our, we have a special assessment as, goes out to, I don't know why he does that. If I put that on there, it should, I'll just.
That was for him, not for me.
I know.
It's every time you check, yeah.
It was just stayed like that.
Now, my request
It
was
defaults
approved,
to
right?
that 100% or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. So basically, this covers the cost of operating the streetlights, and then there's also a couple items Keith's got in there for one-time costs for some transition of streetlights to.
It's to complete the LED changeouts, and the city will be done, and it's gonna be another $560,900.
Okay.
So if you recall, we have a special assessment that assessed to the homeowners and businesses. That amount annually roughly is about $900,000. So the city's cost is roughly $1 million is what we pay our general fund, because the special assessment takes off about $900,000.
Right, okay.
And the reason why, the reason why is because there's all the businesses on the major roads, they only get charged half the cost. And then the cost of doing the capital outlay, that's why you see that difference.
These are the new ones we're talking about on Beach Daily and all that, yeah.
Any lights that we have that are not LEDs, that is, we're quite confident that's the cost to complete.
No, I think she's asking about the special, the proposed district.
Oh, the one that we got in council right now? Okay.
That's not this.
That's not part of
No,
it.
just saying it's not included in
And then, like I said, we've got $148,000, which is the complete residential LED conversions.
Have we been seeing significant savings from these LED conversions?
I think we have, yes, I think we have. We'll know better this year because now we have, I think we have a full year with the majority of them now.
Yeah.
So you get the benefit of the cost savings, but you also get the benefit of the luminosity. I mean, it's
Yeah.
far greater, it's far brighter.
And light.
Some people aren't happy with
bulbs,
that.
No?
So,
From what I read, yeah.
Oh.
Well, I was driving down work this morning, I've been
I
taking Beach Daily,
The savings
since
alone
that-
is worth it, yeah.
and Wick down by my house with the LED lights, so nice. So I started taking Telegraph again today, and down by Pat Park, they don't have them, and it's,
Yeah.
you tell the difference.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's really happy with them, although I suspect there's a few out there that don't like them.
so again, not only one line item, so not much going on there. So if there's not any questions,
No, go ahead.
and we can go straight to building department then. Building department is on page 64 of your document, and this is obviously the permits, inspections from the city. And it's its own separate fund. Per state law, we have to keep these in its own separate fund. To summarize, there's a little bit increase in revenue this year in the current budget to the estimated because of how the trend is going year to date and everything. And then next year, we see a $123,000 reduction. And the majority of that reduction is because of that transfer from the general fund. I believe that transfer from the general fund was related to some equipment purchases. So the majority of that equipment was purchased out of the building department fund, but some of it was going to general fund, so we reimbursed the building department fund for the general fund portion. Since the majority of those assets, I believe it's vehicles, I'm almost certain it was vehicles. Actually, it was site improvements,
Yeah, the back lot.
The back
Back
lot,
lot
that's what it
security.
is, sorry. The back lot security, like I said, we had Wake Travis on weigh in that, majority of that was building department related, so that's where majority was, so we put the full cost in there, and then whatever we needed to allocate from the other funds, like general funds, something that we transferred in from those funds. So that's what that transfer represents, but that's a one-time shot, so we don't need that money next year, so that transfer.
Okay.
So that's why you see that reduction, is because we don't have that transfer in next year's revenue budget. Regards to,
IT expense.
excuse me?
Sorry, the IT expense I was gonna ask about, but.
We can definitely address the IT expense. So going to the expenses are going up 175,000, and so the 157 of that thousand, 157,000 of that increase for the current budget to estimated is the IT equipment, and that, I believe that is twofold. One is the allocation to the building department fund for the hardware, computer hardware, the thick clients, and the monitors. There was some allocation to the building department people over there, and also their portion of the ERP implementation. That's the two major factors in that, that line item is the ERP implementation and their allocation of the backlog. Yeah, well, the backlog, but the computer stuff that was purchased, so. That's what you see in the IT equipment expense, and that's the majority of the expense. And then, next year, we have a reduction of 576,000, but a lot of that reduction is based on one-time capital items that we're doing this year that we're not anticipating for next year. And, I guess the other side, Keith, if you want to address is the personnel. As you can see, there's a $78,000 increase in personnel going to next year. There was also a reduction for this year, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there were some positions that were in the original budget that didn't come to fruition.
No, we're trying, but
And we just can't hire people, so we're trying to put that in next year's budget. But we need to address this year's budget because we didn't hire anybody for 3/4 of the year, so that's why we.
you're still looking for another trade inspector.
So I'm gonna increase this. Sorry about that, and then
Check what we can get. We're looking
go
for,
over
we're really,
here's the
I think we need a
personnel.
plumbing inspector that ours is leaving here quick.
So this is the wages and benefits for the building department allocation. But again, according to our budget meeting and stuff, it's just hard to get people in, so.
And I got one capital, request is a pickup truck, you know, because we get another spec, we have to have a vehicle, so we're just gonna put it in, it's anticipated.
Yeah, and that was actually in the current year budget. When you look at the current year budget, you see a $45,000 increase. That's the estimated vehicle. But again, and you know, we just average out. We try to average out to get a good estimate of what those building department fees are for the permits and other reviews, and then you have your rental and you have your rental registration fees and inspection fees. So. But the building department fees is all encompassing, it includes your permits, includes your other inspections besides rentals and things like that, so.
So, Matt, how often are we doing rental inspections? Is it every day, is it one day a week?
Every day.
Are we doing every day?
Every day. We have,
5 a day?
I think we're doing more than that. I mean, we always have rental inspections due. The ones we're doing in corridors, we're doing, how many for the court order, are we doing in a month? 10 a month. Because we gotta go through the court process, we get warrants. But we do, anytime that an inspector has got their inspections done, we put them on rental. No matter if he's a plumbing inspector or whatever, if he's one of our full-time inspectors. The contract inspectors, we don't have to go in there, just our full-time inspectors. I can get you a number if you want, I mean, that's easy enough to get.
Well, he got me a bunch of numbers, but I was just, I gotta figure it out.
Yeah, the ones that we're getting warrants are still on there.
And that's only those 2 facilities, right?
For now, yeah, at Westminster and here in Glen. And we just recently, did show costs for 10 houses to see how that goes, and we're gonna increase that as we go, but that's.
10 houses?
10, we'll see
Rent the
about 10.
houses?
It's a long process, it's just a show cause, and it's the,
Are they all the same landlord or
no, but the next round we're doing, we're gonna look and see who has LLCs that owns multiple houses, and we're gonna get them in there so we get more done at one time.
not?
That's the next 10 that we're gonna do.
And we're going by how many, they haven't had a CFC for years.
Right,
So we're
okay,
trying to
Yeah.
tackle the ones not,
get the older ones out
obviously
of the way.
not paying any attention. So.
But we are definitely gonna hit the multiples next,
Yeah.
because you kill more,
Right,
one
right.
stone there.
And just one last note, the estimated fund balance in the fund is at $569,000, which is about 25%. You see the annual reductions, those are mostly just because of the one-time capital expenditures, which, again, with the size of the fund balance, those are good usage for the fund balance for those one-time equipment and some of the things. So, just, of note.
Okay, so Keith should be back tomorrow bringing us,